Good evening, wherever you listen to this. This is Tanks and Tutties, brought to you by Tubbs and Frankie. Week 1 of NFL is in the books. Week 2 of college football has gone and passed. The boys are loving it. We had a good weekend. This week, very normal week, probably going to be the same for the next, what would you say, 20, 21 weeks? Just football, baby.
Yeah, give
football,
or take.
Football. Locks and Longshots, as always, college football. A lot of college football news to get through. NFL and Paige's picks. And then the grid, our do not bet list. I don't know if I have any additions. We'll have to think about it. And
don't worry.
Roulette
I got
sends you on the
plenty.
way. I bet you do. Tell me about your weekend. How was it?
It was a good weekend. Honestly, didn't do much. I watched football all Saturday. We did go out on, was that Friday? I think it was Friday that we went out on. Went to a brewery with Paige's classmates. It was fun. Went to an Irish bar afterwards. Irish bars are always a blast. I love myself a good Irish bar. Didn't drink too much. Had just enough. Was able to get back home safely. Saturday, like I said, watched football. Wasn't the greatest day of football until about, 8 p.m. Eastern. Well, no, it would have been 8 p.m. Central Time, 9 p.m. Eastern, till that Texas game was finished. And Sunday, week 1 of football, I loaded up Sunday NFL ticket, plopped my ass straight down on the couch. I think I got up twice, once to pee and once to make food. And that was about it. It was a great Sunday. Watched my team get a dub. And yeah, I'm excited for this weekend to do the exact same thing on Sunday. I don't know if Paige was very happy about it, that I didn't get off the couch. But, you win some, you lose some. Got to make sacrifices in a relationship. And she'll just have to learn. But how was your weekend?
Mine was good. Friday, I had the day off of work. I was in a golf outing. And then Sid and I went and saw MSU volleyball, which was it was a lot of fun. They got swept by Duke, but some of the shit these girls can do is insane. I've never watched volleyball live, so that was fun. And then Saturday went to my parents' house, helped my dad put some flooring in, and we watched the Michigan game as well as Colorado, Nebraska. Came home, watched some football, laid on the couch. And then Sunday, I did not have the Sunday I wanted to be honest with you. I wanted to have your type of Sunday where I turned it on and sat down. But I had to pre-bowl for my bowling league, so I did that at about 2 o'clock. And then went over to Sid's family's house for dinner and watched some football over there. But a good weekend. Just I don't think I had enough football. But I haven't quite gotten Sid around to the idea of just sitting and watching football all day yet. Still working on that. We'll keep you guys updated.
No worries. You still have 17 more regular weeks to do so.
Well, I try to tell her that, I only have 18 weeks to do this. And I only have so many of those 18 weeks. Which might seem like a lot,
but it's not.
Exactly. It's like I only have so many of those 18 weeks in my lifetime. You know what I mean?
That you know of.
Exactly. Like, say I live for 10 more years. That's a short life, heaven forbid, but that's only 180 more weeks of football. So I got to soak up every last ounce of football I can get, which I did. I was lucky enough to be able to watch it at her house, her parents' house, and we had an amazing dinner. We had some lasagna. It was great. Shout out Sid's mom. So not complaining, just, heads up, Sid, if you're listening, there will be different weekends where I will not be getting off the couch. So into the Locks and Longshots now. 38-34, finally got a dub. I had Laporta over 30.5 yards on Thursday. He ended up with 38 on 5 catches. Very involved. Loved it. Still open Wisconsin over 8.5 wins. But this week I've got 2 for you. Lions minus 5.5 on Sunday against the Seahawks. The Lions didn't even play that good, and they beat the Chiefs. They made a lot of mistakes. They didn't use Gibbs to his full potential, so I feel like 5.5 is low. I don't hate the idea of the Lions winning by a touchdown in their first home game. Their first home game last year was rocking. They almost beat the Eagles, which they had no business doing. So, and then our other play is under 51 in the Chiefs versus Jags. The Chiefs looked about as bad as a team can look. They didn't have Kelsey. Chris Jones obviously wasn't playing. He just signed his one-year deal. He's back. So I think he'll help slow down the Jags. And the Chiefs' defense didn't look bad per se. So I like the under 51 here. I don't take a lot of unders. I always like an over. It's more fun to root for. But I think under 51 is the sharp play here. Just forewarning, I also thought the sharp play was Nebraska last Saturday. We'll get into that. Not a sharp, but I like to feel like one sometimes, so I'm taking an under. Long shots, 25, 43, and 1. Still waiting on Gibbs, Offensive Rookie of the Year. But last week, bad week on the long shots. Nebraska minus 4.5. They got blown out. Hopkins, anytime touchdown. The Titans looked about as bad as you can on offense. They started the game with a fumble recovery on the opening kick at like the 35, and they lost yards. They started the day with negative yards, and they went 3-and-out and kicked a field goal. So he didn't score a touchdown. That's a loss. Lions money line, however, did hit on Thursday night, so that's a W. So 1-2 there. This week I've got 2. MSU money line on Saturday against Washington. This play is dumb. Do not take this. Do not bet this. This is just kind of a holy shit, haha, what if it happened? Obviously, there's some news with MSU and Mel Tucker, their coach. We'll get into that. I just think that if there was a game MSU shouldn't win that they did, it would be this one. They're not going to beat Michigan. They're not going to beat Ohio State. They're not going to beat Penn State. I think it would be this game. They played Washington tight last year for the first half and then got blown out towards the end. So I think MSU's looked okay. The defenses looked okay, so I don't mind this play here. But I wouldn't touch this game. I wouldn't take the spread. I wouldn't take the over-under. I'm just doing this strictly so I can say that I was right if it happens. And then also, Castellanos to hit a home run tonight against the Braves, strictly because he didn't on 9/11, and it's the day after 9/11. Also with the Rodgers news, I think today's the day. Plus 550 there, so taking Castellanos.
I don't know where you got plus 550 because I just locked it in at plus 440.
Let me double check and make sure, but I'm pretty sure I got that today when I was on lunch.
On DraftKings?
Yeah.
That explains it. I got it on FanDuel.
Yeah, plus 550 on DraftKings. I also boosted it to plus 825.
Oh, I will say it's a horrible matchup for him against Max Fried.
Yeah, Max Fried.
But
dumb bet, but he's due.
I had a free bet that I put on it, so you know what? It doesn't matter.
Yep.
For my locks, 21, 26, and 1. We had a really good week last week. I hit the Packers plus 1.5 against the Bears. They won. Hit the Dolphins plus 3 against the Chargers. They also won. Still have Wisconsin over 8.5 wins. I don't want to say I'm a little worried. Just maybe a little worried. We'll see, though. We'll talk about that one later. This week, I am adding the Vikings-Eagles under 48.5 on Thursday night. 2 reasons for this. A, it's primetime Kirk. We know about primetime Kirk. B, it's a primetime game. Primetime unders are back, as seen in the last couple games this week. Also adding the Dolphins minus 2 against the Patriots because, I don't know if you saw what they did against the Chargers last week. I have some more thoughts on that later as well. But I would say that the Chargers would blow out the Patriots, and the Dolphins just beat the Chargers. So give me 2 on the road, yes please. And then last but not least, I'm completely fading Jake's take of MSU. I think this is going to be an all-time low for MSU. Second lowest that the university as a whole could probably go.
I think third.
Okay, third lowest that they could possibly ever go. I don't see there's a lot of news and everything around them, but I don't see it as being like a type of news that would hype up the team to try to get a win.
No, you're absolutely correct. I am just trying to predict something stupid, ridiculous.
Yeah, and that is fair. I see both sides. I understood what you were saying completely. Mm-hmm. But on the other hand, I'm just gonna stick with my gut here and say Washington minus 16.5. I think they blow the doors off them, especially after everything that's happened this week. So Long shots, 11-45. Didn't have a terrible week last week. I hit the Texas money line against Bama. That was exhilarating. Great game.
Great call.
Even better that I had money on it. Yes. I did lose the week 1 6-point teaser. I saw that you had a question mark on it. I pulled up my photo of it because I didn't actually place money on it. I kind of forgot to. And I think I got to find it again. I believe I went 4 for 6 on it. I had the over in the Chiefs-Lions game bumped down to 47.5. That lost. And then I had the Steelers plus 8.5 in there, and that lost. Otherwise, though, it was the Jags plus 1.5, Steelers plus 7.5, Ravens minus 4, and Eagles plus 2.5. Those all hit. So either way, it was a loss. Didn't have money on it, which is okay. My computer just gave me a notification. I don't know what that is. Go away. Thanks. Still open. Packers to win the division plus 400. I like this so much more after week 1 and actually seeing the games happen. Might have to double down later, depending on how the next couple weeks go. Still have Bijan, Rookie of the Year open at plus 300. I like it, but I have some thoughts. And then I have Bo Bichette hits leader. Counted that one as a loss. Threw that on the record already. This week, I'm taking the Jags money line against the Chiefs. Chiefs didn't look good. I understand that there was no Kelsey. There is still a chance that Kelsey doesn't play this week. And Trevor Lawrence just continues to get better. And Calvin Ridley is in mid-season form already after not playing for 2 years in week 1. So I'm going to take a stab at it and say the Jags at home against potentially a weakened Chiefs team who just lost to the Lions. I like that. And then I hate to do this one, but I got to do it to hedge myself. I'm taking Florida money line in the swamp against Tennessee this week. Tennessee has not looked good the last 2 weeks, especially last week against couldn't even tell you. Oh, Austin Peay. It was tied 6-6 at half. It was just actually I think they were up, but it was 6-6 late in the second quarter. Just looked absolutely disgusting. I actually turned the game off, didn't watch it. Give me an SEC rivalry in the swamp, home team against a team that's not playing very well, maybe overhyped. I'll take Florida for the emotional hedge.
Yeah, Tennessee looked like buns. Joe Milton is not good. I don't hate that play.
I don't want to go that far yet.
You might as well go for 2 big moneyline dogs in a row, right?
Exactly. I will say I've had the NFL spreadsheet the last couple of years. I may or may not, starting tonight, be sitting down and recreating this.
Oh,
and maybe
shit.
adding some college stuff.
I'll be interested to that. I'll never bet your spreadsheet because I never did it right. I always like pick and chose, so it was like I was betting normally anyways. Yeah, but I would be curious how a college football one could do.
Yeah, for some reason, like last night, I wasn't really thinking about it, and then of course the worst timing, I got into bed and my mind just started racing, and I was like, I should make the NFL spreadsheet. And I don't think I fell asleep for like an hour because I was just thinking about how I would do it. So I got to bring it to fruition now. So
there you go. Before we get into college football, I want to drop back quick about the NFC North division as a whole. Your Packers bet. Did you actually bet it, first of all?
Yes.
Okay. So that's a good bet for you right now. The Lions, I feel like, deserve to be the favorites as of now. They didn't play a good game. Obviously, they beat a team without their best player, second best in Kelsey. But the Chiefs receivers, I'll get into that. I'm going too deep. Lions looked okay. They didn't play good, and they still beat the Chiefs. The Packers, they looked good, but the Bears also looked very bad, and Jordan Love hasn't proven it yet. But you having money on the Packers is very good at the moment. And the Vikings looked god-awful. Their defense looks atrocious because they played a bad Bucs offense, and Baker Mayfield's moving the ball. And then Kirk Cousins, my God, he looks like he's just ready to retire and go start a youth group. He does not seem into it. But it's the Vikings. They have Jefferson. Addison looked good. So I think right now it's just like we said last week. It's the three there, Vikings, Packers, Lions. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Packers were still good and finished above 500.
So I just double checked. I don't actually have money straight up on them to win the division, but I have them in my division winners parlay, which after this week doesn't look terrible.
Sorry, I just got a long-ass text. I was trying to read it. Say that one more time for me.
I was saying I don't actually have money on the Packers to win the division straight up, but I have them in the division winners parlay, which after last week looks pretty decent. Granted, it's only week 1, but...
Yep, we just got to let it go, but the Bears are still the Bears, so I think it's just between the three. I wouldn't be surprised if the Vikings fell off, though, because Kirk Cousins is Kirk Cousins. They're going to lose this Thursday, so they're going to start 0-2. Who do the Packers play this week?
Falcons.
So you could see the Packers and Lions at 2-0. I wouldn't be surprised.
Packers are already up to plus 260. Lions are minus 115.
So the Lions jumped, and so did the Packers. What are the Vikings at while you got it?
Plus 430.
Wow, so the Vikings dropped a lot. That wouldn't be... I don't... If the Packers beat the Lions to win the division... Here's what I think I might do, right? I might throw a unit or two. I might throw 2 units on the Packers and 1 unit on the Vikings. And then either way, at the end of the season, I'll be the happiest guy. No, I won't. I'll be content because either I make money on the Packers or Vikings or the Lions win the division. Because let's be real, the Bears aren't.
Yeah. Also, the Packers to make the playoffs is now minus 110 either way.
I don't know if they should be minus. I think I might take them to miss at plus. Can you bet that or no?
No, I'm saying it's minus 110 to make it and minus 110 to miss.
Oh. I feel like minus
at least on
110 to miss is a good bet. I don't know, though. Jordan Love, he didn't look bad. I tried to get in your head on the first drive and be like, ooh, Jordan Love not looking so good just because he had a bad pitch.
Yeah, you brought that up after we ran 3 of the 4 plays.
Well, the one run, he pitched it to Jones, and it was just a horrible pitch. And I was just trying to get in your head. But I feel like the rest of the day he did his job. So, should be interesting. But the Lions look good. So did the Packers. We'll get into them a little bit deeper, though, when we get into the NFL. Let's start with college football. And obviously the biggest storyline of the week was Mel Tucker. And if you didn't see it, you live under a rock. But basically, they brought in this girl. I forget her name, but she's like an activist for preventing sexual harassment. She goes around to all these teams to help them with how to, not be an asshole, I think. I don't really know what her job is, but she goes and speaks, and it's all about bringing awareness to it. And from what I saw, Mel Tucker thought they had a relationship brewing, but he was married, so obviously bad. And then the reason he is suspended without pay currently is because they had unconsensual phone sex. Mel Tucker was stroking it while talking to her one night. My only point here is I think she's trying to get a bag. I mean, you can't, it was brought up, why didn't she just hang up the phone, which is a valid argument. And she responded to that by saying the thought never occurred to me. So that's what leads me to think that she set this all up. The university knew since December, which is kind of a bad look, but they were doing an investigation in air quotes. So Mel Tucker, done, probably. The reason I said it was probably the third worst, we all know the first worst, Nasser. I think the second was when D'Antonio got to the end of his career. There was kind of some stuff brewing about what he might have done with recruiting violations and maybe a little bit of harassment. That never came to light because he resigned. And now Mel Tucker, I think that's the number 3. Obviously, lots of memes out of this, Tuck coming, all that good stuff. So just a bad look. But MSU, Mel Tucker got a bunch of 4-star recruits. I think MSU is going to be bad for a while now, unless they make a hero hire, because all these recruits.
They got all these recruits and they haven't done anything with them.
Yeah, yep. The recruits are gonna leave. I think even this most recent year, they're not on the guys that are coming next year. They had a better recruiting class than, I think it was Iowa, or was it I don't remember. They had a top 5 recruiting class in the Big Ten, but most of those guys are gonna leave now. They came because of they came. I need to choose better choices. They were going to. And we're back. My computer's a piece of ass, so I guess I'll just I guess I'll just close out my statement. Mel Tucker, kind of an asshole, bad guy, just a shitty situation, but he's gone, and MSU's going to suck now. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really read into it a bunch. Just a bad situation. Honestly, if I had to pick a team out of the two, Michigan and Michigan State, I would have picked MSU, but there's been a lot of bad things coming out of there. The last decade, 15 years or so. Just not a good look. Feel bad for anybody that was a recruit going there, and now this happened to him. But yeah, I think they're probably going to be pretty bad for quite a while. So.
Yeah, this is one of those hard to come back froms, and it's going to be it'll be a tall task. So, into some lighter topics, not involving sexual harassment. Colorado's not going to receive any more hate from me. I still hate them, but I don't think I can say that they don't deserve the hype, but they've earned a little bit of respect from me. I like Dion and I like Sanders. I don't know. I don't know why I hate them so bad. I truly have no reason. But they made Nebraska look like shit. At first, it started out great for me. I was like, wow, Nebraska's defense looks good. But Nebraska's offense is about the worst Big Ten offense I've seen since maybe Iowa last year.
Yeah, it is putrid.
The turnovers and the penalty and that quarterback, I don't know his name, but they brought in the backup and he looked better. But, geez, oh, Pete.
Well, so
7 turnovers
I don't know
in 2 games?
if you saw, they brought in both backups. But anyways, mid-game, we were texting back and forth in our group chat, and I said, Nebraska's pros and cons. Pros, they can run the ball, they have a decent defense, and they have a good coach. Their cons, they can only run the ball, they're undisciplined, and they have no studs whatsoever.
Yep.
About 2 plays later, they fumbled, and I said, update, can't run the ball either. I
saw
a
stat.
Like, this team's not.
I saw that.
Nebraska's not bad. Their defense is good, but everything outside of that is just so bad. And like, I want to see Colorado play some bigger opponents, which they will. But I don't like. I don't know how to feel about them because yes, they have played well, but they also really haven't played anybody. We don't know how good TCU really is. I really like Hunter. I really like Sanders. But I don't think this is the year they're going to be amazing. I think, if anything, next year or the year after is when they're going to be really, really good. I don't think they'll ever be amazing.
I think 8-4 I think 8-4 for them would be an amazing year after going 1-11. But I don't think they'll ever even sniff the playoff.
It's expanding.
You know what I'm going to do? I just decided. Oh, they play Oregon September 23rd.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. If they beat Oregon, I will give them total respect, and I'll bet them to make the playoff. However, this week I'm taking Colorado State money line.
Oh, God.
It's
20 points.
Yeah, they're 23.5-point underdogs. But Colorado won as 20-point underdogs. Why can't Colorado State? TCU, what did they do last week? Did they win, lose? How did they look? We gotta keep an eye on
didn't
TCU
look.
as well.
I will look it up. TCU,
by the way,
Horned Frogs.
95% of 95% of bets were on Colorado
last week, 41-6.
Okay, well, Nichols is Nichols.
Yes.
That's actually an FCS team.
And they only beat them 41-6.
Yep. So, 95% of bets were on Colorado. So here I am thinking like, yup, Nebraska's going to squeak out a dirty win here. Colorado's going to look like shit. But I just couldn't have been more wrong, and I should have just went with the easy Colorado -2.5.
I forgot to mention, so you said that you liked their backup when their backup came in. So their first backup came in because their starter got hurt or whatever. Like 2 plays later, the backup got hurt. Do you know who their third string is?
No.
It's Brock Purdy's younger brother.
Is it really?
Yeah.
No shit. I didn't know that.
He looks exactly like him too.
I turned off the game. We kind of got going, putting the floor, and I don't want to stay distracted, but I turned it off when Colorado was up I think they went up like 14, and Nebraska just kept turning the ball over, going 3 and out. They were moving the ball okay at the start too, and the defense was just absolutely manhandling Colorado. But I knew it could only happen so long. I should have re-upped Colorado just to cover my ass, but I didn't. So
yeah, update on Colorado's Heisman odds. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is.
I think they're like 18-1, aren't they?
Shedeur Sanders has gone up to plus 1,800, 18-1. And reminder, I have money on Travis Hunter at plus 4,000. He was all the way up to 2,800, or I think he was all the way up to 2,000 last week. He's back down to 3,500, and I don't really understand why.
I'll tell you why. He didn't put up any stats on offense, I don't believe, and because I think he played way less offense. I'm checking my math right now.
He's
but
still
also
played
on
over
defense,
100 snaps.
On defense, I don't think he did anything special. That's the thing. He had that pick in the TCU game. There was also a lot of videos of him getting absolutely manhandled in the blocks. Let's see. Who am I looking for? Oh, Hunter. Hunter. He had 73 yards receiving, so...
Yeah,
Xavier
I don't know.
Weaver, 10 receptions, 170 yards, and a touchdown. Holy shit.
I will say, if we want to jump into the next biggest game, the Texas-Bama game.
Wait. Before you do, last thing about Colorado. And then I do want to say my Michigan thing real fast. But
we can
Shedeur
get into
Sanders
that,
had
but...
negative 30 rushing yards.
Yikes.
How is that? They don't count negative yards for sacks, so how is that possible?
I don't know.
I wonder if there was I don't know.
A fumble?
I might have to look into that. That's weird. Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. Let's get into Texas.
I was going to say a player I really like that you need to watch for Heisman, which he's definitely not going to win Heisman, but Xavier Worthy for Texas, the wide receiver. Mm-hmm. He is so fast. He can take the top off of every play. He was outstanding in the Bama game, and he's definitely not going to win the Heisman because he's a wide receiver. But come the NFL, I think that dude's going to be a legit player and go into the league and be a solid wide receiver in the league.
Yeah, so on Saturday, we were texting in the morning, and obviously Texas-Bama was the game of the day, and you were obviously all over Texas, and I literally said to you, or in our group chat, I said, my heart wants Texas, but my brain says Bama. And I had been going with my heart for everything, and I had been losing, so I was like, I got to take Bama here. It's just Texas has hype. It happened before, but my heart was like, wow, Texas made it close last year, and Ewers got hurt. But then I was like, oh, that was in Texas, though. And I should have just rode with you on Texas. It would have been a lot more fun because I was watching that game, and like I wasn't able to root for excitement because Texas was fucking exciting. Every time Bama scored, here came Texas. Boom, touchdown. It was such a fun game.
I watched that entire game because, mind you, it was on ESPN. I watched this entire game with the Spanish broadcast on, and watching a game with the Spanish broadcast sucks because you can't understand anything until they score a touchdown, and then you just hear, touchdown, Alabama, touchdown, Alabama, touchdown, Longhorn. And I was like, well, I don't know what's happening, but at least there's a touchdown, so.
Yep. They, what was I going to say? Once I had accepted that Bama wasn't going to cover, that game was a lot of fun, and I loved watching Texas look good. I would love to see Texas make the playoff because I think Texas, Georgia, Texas, Michigan, Texas, Ohio State, Texas, Bama again, maybe like that.
Well,
Texas,
and let's
USC,
not forget, there's a Manning on this roster now.
He won't touch the field.
No, I know. But so I actually have
their
Texas.
Fourth string.
I don't know about that. I have Texas's schedule pulled up here. So they go 2-0. They play Wyoming this week. That's obviously a win. Then they go at Baylor, home against Kansas, home against Oklahoma. Tough game, but I think they pulled that one out. At Houston.
Actually, I don't think that's a home game, though, because they do the Red River Showdown where it's played on a neutral site.
Oh, that's true. At Houston, home against BYU, home against Kansas State, at TCU, at Iowa State, at home against Texas Tech. I could very easily see this team being undefeated. They also have the easiest strength of schedule and the 6th ranked luck rating so far.
See, here's the problem with Texas. They got through their hardest game, Bama, obviously. They looked great. The Big 12, though, as a whole. The Big 12, though, as a whole, there's always that one game where their best team looks like shit. But if Texas gets to Oklahoma and looks good, there's no reason they shouldn't go 12-0. Get to the Big 12 championship. I could see Kansas
State putting up a fight against them.
That's what I'm saying.
Kansas
There's always
State's just a very
same thing with like the
team.
Big Ten, like Michigan, Illinois last year, bad. Ohio State, Indiana the first week this year, bad. Like there's just always that one. So, but I think with Bama being bad, did you say it or did Javi say it? Where when Bama's not good, college football.
I said it. I said college football is just so much better when Bama's not involved.
Such a true statement. It's going to be a fun year. I hope Georgia loses a game too somewhere. I don't want
if we
Michigan
could just
to
get
be
a completely different shift of the playoffs, that would be so much fun. Like if we could get Texas, USC, Michigan, and say, I don't know, another Pac-12 team in there, or another SEC.
No, Notre Dame.
Notre Dame, yeah, that'd be fun.
But that would take a lot because Notre Dame and USC play each other. So you would
but Notre Dame looks so good.
Yeah, Notre Dame looks great. So you would need Notre Dame to beat USC, then USC win out and win the Pac-12. I think they'd get in for sure. Yep. And then Texas win out, obviously Michigan win out. Imagine Michigan, Texas, Notre Dame, and USC. That would be so fun playoff. And obviously I think that's Michigan's best shot is if Georgia's not there.
Of course you think that.
I think Michigan can beat any team not named Georgia.
I would agree.
Let's get moving here, though, just because I want to talk NFL as well and not have to speed it up. Michigan won again. They just cannot cover spreads, and I need to learn this. I had a 9-leg parlay on Saturday. I took mostly favorites money line. Michigan's money line, however, was minus 10,000, and I needed that one more leg, so I was like, I'll take their spread. Their spread was 34.5, and they won by 28. So I ended up losing out. I think that was $10 for $270. So that pissed me off. So that's officially – was that already on my do not bet list? Yeah,
yes.
It was. Son of a bitch. I need to follow the do not bet list, dude.
I was going to bring that up to you, but –
I just like – oh, my God. Why do I do this, dude? I also had like that parlay would have been the most fun because I had Utah in it. Oregon was the last one. That game was insane real quick. I also had Oregon minus – what were they? -6. They were up 31-30, 40 seconds left. Texas Tech has the ball.
Oh, yeah, because I was against I was against Oregon, and yep.
I had Oregon, and then they were up by 1 with 40 seconds left, and they got a pick 6 to cover. And then Texas Tech almost went down the field to tie it up. It's like, holy shit, dude. So that was fun. What else? Oh, Wisconsin real quick. You go ahead, and then I'll rebuttal.
So I honestly didn't watch a lot of this game. I will say they did get fucked by the refs because they were down 2. I believe it was down 2. I'm pulling it up. And we sacked Washington State's quarterback in the end zone. Should have been a safety. They said that he was stopped at the 1-yard line, which there's very clear evidence that he did not make it out of the end zone. Washington State ended up going on to score on that drive. I believe they kicked a field goal. Mind you, if we got the safety, we would have been tie game getting the ball back. We didn't, and Washington State ended up scoring. I don't think we got a chance to score again, and Washington State won.
So you say they got fucked, but that was early in the game, and then Washington State ended up getting a pick, and they scored again. How much did they win by? 9?
Yeah, 31-22.
So Wisconsin still had a shot, but it was honestly it was a momentum killer, and they got the call wrong for sure. I'll give you that. However, Wisconsin didn't look good though. Let's be honest. They didn't.
Yeah, I will say I don't really understand what's going on with the rushing attack. So I'm just going to read off the box score for our running backs. Well, the rushing box score. So Chaz Malusi led the team, 12 rushes, 49 yards, and a touchdown. Tanner Mordecai, 10 rushes, 21 yards. Braylon Allen, 7 rushes for 20 yards. Why are we not using Braylon Allen?
Yeah, why is your best back since who's the most recent good one out of there? Oh, Jonathan
Melvin
Taylor.
Gordon, Jonathan Taylor, Monty Ball.
I was going to say
James
Ron
White.
Day, but then I realized there was a bunch. Anyways, very good back. Why is he not getting the share load?
Yeah. Mordecai,
That's insane.
Mordecai also wasn't great. He threw 40 times, only completed 25 of them. I mean, he did throw for 278 yards and a touchdown, but, like, it was nothing outstanding. I don't know. I mean, like I said, there's going to be growing pains. I just don't really understand what's going on, especially with the rushing attack. Tough loss. Can't blame this all on the Badgers. I mean, you can blame a lot of it, but there's definitely some outside factors. Also, it was Pac-12 refs for a Pac-12 home game. Doesn't really make any sense there.
That doesn't at all.
Kind of confused. Yeah. I don't know. Washington State has had our number. I think Washington State is better than a lot of people think they are. Cameron Ward, their quarterback, is a very good athlete. So
their whole season this year too is also from Mike Leach. So
yeah, a lot of outside factors. Yeah,
not a bad loss, not a good loss though.
I mean, I chalked this up as one of those that we could potentially lose. So we still have room to work with.
The 8.5 is still in play very much as long as you handle your business. And if I want Wisconsin to beat Ohio State, I will be the biggest Wisconsin supporter for.
Honestly, losing this game,
I want that so bad.
Made me feel like we could, because if we can lose a game that we shouldn't have, then we can win a game that we shouldn't.
I love that math.
It just adds up.
All right, so that's your college football. This week's slate sucks. There's nothing good, but then next week's is a lot of fun. I think you got – I didn't look, but week 4 we'll have to kind of do a little bit of a preview because there's some good-ass games.
Tennessee, Florida this week.
Yeah, but – Tennessee,
I know, it's nothing.
Win that game, no problem. You know what? Just while I'm here, I'm going to look at week 4. I got it open. What was I looking at? UCLA and Utah. That should be fun. Oregon State, Washington State. Washington State's ranked now. Ole Miss and Bama. Colorado and Oregon. What was the other one? Oh, Ohio State, Notre Dame is the big one. And then Iowa, Penn State Saturday night as well. So going to have to do a split screen between Ohio State, Notre Dame, and Iowa, Penn State. Shout out to YouTube TV and also shout out to Papa Tubbs because YouTube TV has a new feature. Not sure if this was a thing last year, but you can split your screen and watch multiple games at once, up to 3. That was a blessing Saturday night with your parlay.
Yeah,
I was doing all 3 of those games.
I was just doing that for Sunday Ticket. I don't have YouTube TV, but for Sunday Ticket you can do that. So I had Red Zone in one box and then 3 other games going. So I technically had like 12 games going at once. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
When they threw up the Octo box, plus I had 3 games on. Wow.
Yeah, just instant nut.
Yeah.
So you wanted to do a new category, overreaction of the week. I didn't have time to prep for this, so I'm going to let you handle it. But I believe what we're going to do is each week, if we have an overreaction, we're going to track them and see if any of them are correct at the end of the season. Is that about right with what you wanted to do?
Yep, that is spot on.
All right, you go ahead then. I don't have anything this week, but next week I'll definitely keep that in mind when I'm watching the games.
Well, perfect. I brought 2 this week to cover for both of us. First one, overreaction number 1, Dolphins are winning the Super Bowl. They just went out and, 36-34 against Chargers. Tua threw for 466, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. And, the Chargers are a good team. I think the Dolphins defense is going to get better. I think the Dolphins offense is going to pick up right where it left off when Tua was healthy last year. And with the Bengals losing, the Bills losing, the Ravens didn't look fantastic. Plus they lost J.K. Dobbins. I think that the Chiefs lost. I think that the Dolphins are winning the Super Bowl.
So before you get into your next one there, I will say their defense did not look good, but definitely time for them to look better. The Bills didn't look good, but you got to think they'll figure it out. The Bengals started slow last year also, so there's still competition, but I feel like the AFC's opened up a little bit, and obviously the biggest concern is Tua's brain not exploding on the field. But I think if you avoid that, I don't see why this couldn't hit. I mean, they've got one of the best offenses in the NFL. And honestly, they might have the best offense.
I do want to say I almost put a future on the Dolphins to win the Super Bowl preseason, and then you talked me out of it. So my other overreaction.
I'm glad you'll thank me when Tua has another brain injury and doesn't play the rest of the year.
Yeah, my other overreaction of the week is that the Texans will be an over 500 team this year. They did lose. They didn't look fantastic, but
they lost and didn't score a touchdown.
But I understand that, okay? CJ Stroud threw 44 times, and I think with him developing connections with this team, I think between Nico Collins, Robert Woods, Tank Dell, Dalton Schultz, Dameon Pierce, I think this offense could be really good, and I think the defense is really, really good. Like, we talked about that last year a little bit, how their defense is decent. Plus, you have D'Amico Ryans, who I think is a very underrated coach. He's a very defensive-minded coach, which, again, kind of leads to the point of I think the defense is going to be really good and carry this team. I could see this team easily being an over 500 team by the end of this year. I mean, I don't want to say they have an easy schedule, but they also don't have a hard schedule. Like, they finish the year, their last 6 weeks actually, they go Broncos, at Jets, at Titans, home against the Browns, home against the Titans, at the Colts. Like, I think that's a fairly easy 6-week stretch to end the year, and the middle isn't much better. They play in a weak division, so.
Yep. Definitely an overreaction. Will be fun to track there. I don't think they'll be anywhere near. I think they'll be a top 5 draft pick, but more power to you. Stroud looked like shit. He has nobody to throw to, so
we'll see.
Moving on now with the rest of the NFL. The Lions, I kind of already hit on it. On Thursday night, they upset the Chiefs. They didn't look great. They didn't use Gibbs to where I would have liked, but Dan Campbell in his press conference, he said that that was by design. They wanted him to get a feel for the NFL, kind of. You know,
that was that was
that?
kind of my thought too. Was just like growing into.
What do they call that when you put the acclimate? When you put the fish in the bag but in the water? That's kind of what they did with Gibbs. They kept him in a plastic bag in the water.
That's a good comparison, I guess.
Yeah,
Gibbs was just a fish in a plastic bag sitting in the water.
Yeah. Let's be real though. The Lions should have lost that game. Shout out to Kadarius Brickhands Toney, as well as Sky Drops Moore, and who's the other one?
MVS.
MVS did not do great either. He had the one big catch, but Kelsey for sitting at home and hurting himself, and also Chris Jones. Did you see Chris Jones was in a suite at the game?
Yep,
that was funny. Yeah, I didn't feel bad for him until after the game when the Lions won, but then I felt bad for Mahomes because it was like, dude, first of all, the Lions got a pick 6 when Mahomes put it in stride in the dude's palms. He knocks it up. The Lions take it for a touchdown. That's just ridiculous. Goff, he looked good. He fit some balls in some windows he shouldn't have. The run game looked all right. I think Montgomery had 70 yards. Gibbs had 40. Every time Gibbs got the ball, though, he just looked faster than anybody else on the field. So I didn't love that we didn't give him more touches.
Yeah, I think this week you're going to see a lot of Gibbs. I hate to say this, but it is nice to have Montgomery there. Just kind of Montgomery's not a bad running back. He's not great, but he's good to just kind of, lead the way. And I think Gibbs is kind of the lightning to David Montgomery's thunder. And I really fucking hate to say this, but I think Gibbs is electric, and I think he's going to be really, really good.
I love it.
And
let's fucking go.
I'm a little bit worried about him.
I think I'm going to also add a long shot. I just thought of it. Gibbs gets his first touchdown this week at home. So Gibbs, anytime touchdown. Not sure on the odds on that, but I'll be betting that until he gets his first. It's very clear by the end of the year he'll be the feature back. He's miles better than Montgomery.
If he doesn't, though,
Montgomery
what do you think DeAndre Swift is thinking?
If he doesn't what?
Become the featured back. If they just kind of sit in this 2-back situation.
If they sit in this 2-back thing and it works out, we make the playoffs, we win a game, I don't give a fuck what Swift has to think. I love DeAndre Swift. However, I am fully trusting Brad Holmes because Jamal Williams went to the Saints. He had 30 rushing yards. DeAndre Swift had 1 rushing yard on 3 touches. So
that game didn't make any sense whatsoever.
Yeah, I think it's so much that our line is amazing that it opens it up for like when Gibbs got the ball versus Montgomery would get 4 or 5 yards, but Gibbs was busting these out for 11, 12, spinning off these guys, and Gibbs is he's better than Montgomery, but he opens it up for Montgomery as well. I think it'll be a good two-back system. Hopefully we can avoid some injuries. And even our receivers, I feel like Amon-Ra looked good. Goff was hitting his spots, and however, Marvin Jones can go fuck himself. Holy shit. He was killing me. I think he had 3 drops, and 2 of them were on a screen, and then he fumbled in the red zone on a screen. What are we doing? Get him off my fucking team. He's 47 years old. Marvin Jones can go fuck himself. I hope that I change my mind because I used to love him, but I think he was a bad signing, and I hope we go get somebody else. Go pick up Galladay before Jones. I can wear my Galladay jersey again. Remember when I bought that brand new Galladay jersey and the next year he was gone?
Yep.
Motherfucker. Why don't you go ahead and talk about your Packers?
Yeah. Great week 1, honestly. I don't have really anything bad to say. The injuries weren't great. I didn't love seeing Jones get banged up. Quay Walker got banged up after he had a pick 6. Christian Watson was out, still not looking great for this week, so that's tough. But, Love without his number 1 receiver looked really good. He wasn't perfect, but when he needed to be on 3rd and 4th down, he literally was perfect. He had a perfect passer rating on 3rd and 4th down, so that was huge. Threw for 3 touchdowns. Granted, the Bears defense isn't really anything to scoff at. They're not great. So I think it was a good warm-up game. I do like the way Love looked. I mean, he was composed in the pocket. He only took 1 sack. He had a play that, I don't know if you saw this play, but he had a play where he fumbled the snap and picked it up and kind of scrambled right a little bit, and it was a broken down play. He had Luke Musgrave wide open down the field, threw a perfect ball to him. That play, honestly, was so good to see because it was a fumbled snap, you could have just given up on the play, fallen on the ball. But instead he picked it up and looked completely composed, like nothing had happened, and just threw an absolute dot to Musgrave, which should have been a touchdown, but Musgrave fell. Tight ends, he's not the sleekest on foot, but Musgrave looked good. Dobbs looked fantastic. He looks like he took a huge step up this year. I like Jaden Reed. Yeah, I like Jaden Reed. He looks like he could kind of play almost anywhere. He lined up a few times in the backfield. I don't really think he did anything in the backfield. But he's just kind of a shifty guy that we can throw in the slot. We can throw out wide to burn people. He can line up in the backfield for some little bit of trickery. Matt LaFleur, great coach. I think he's going to do some good things for this team. A.J. Dillon was my only big worry. He did not look good. 13 carries for 19 yards, just rough outing. I think this week will be not so much of a test for the offense, more of a test for the defense. Defense looked fantastic, I will say. We did give up 20 points, but I think a lot of it was kind of just garbage time. 4 sacks of Justin Fields. Fields looked bad. I don't know. I'm excited for this team. I think Love did well week 1. I think he's going to step right in, and I think this team's going to be really good. So
it'll be fun to see. I can't wait for Lions-Packers on Thanksgiving. The Cowboys, man, I don't know if the Giants are just really, really, really bad or if the Cowboys are good because they dominated Sunday Night Football.
I think the Cowboys defense is just that
Legit.
Good. Yeah. They are by far the best defense in the league.
Dak didn't do anything extravagant, but he didn't really need to because the defense and special teams got him up early.
Which scares me because, the NFC East, I think, is going to be a 2-horse race. Everybody talked about the Giants making all these upgrades on defense. Obviously, that didn't prove to be anything of truth. So I think it's going to be a 2-horse race between the Eagles and the Cowboys. The Eagles didn't look good. Granted, that could be because none of the Eagles starters played any preseason. Mm-hmm. And the Cowboys defense is just legit. So I'm a little worried that the Cowboys might make a push and come playoffs if they don't choke like they usually do. They could be a legit threat, but I don't know.
I think Cowboys defense is legit, obviously, but I think Pollard is going to have a big year. But I think Dak is still going to be Dak, and the games he needs to win, he won't.
I was going to mention Pollard and just say, we questioned whether he could be a RB1, and I think he fully proved that he can fully be RB1 for that team.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Slight complaint about that game. I was texting you guys Sunday night at halftime. I was like, I need something to bet on just so I can watch this game. So I threw $5 on Hendershot to score, which was like plus 6,000. And first drive right out of halftime, they hit him on the goal line, and he dropped it, and it would have been a touchdown. So that one hurt.
So actually, there was one more thing I was going to mention about this game. Do you know who led the team in targets for the Cowboys?
Was it Turpin?
No. Turpin had 3. He was tied for third.
I just know that he's like their 5th string, and he got a lot of looks.
Yeah. So Jake Ferguson led the team with 7 targets. He only had 2 catches, but it wasn't all on him. I think he had 2 or 3 drops. But the fact that Dak is already relying on Ferguson just like he did with Schultz, at least for fantasy purposes, screams like this could be a top 3 tight end for fantasy. Just my point of view.
Yeah, the only thing to be careful about, though, is that the Cowboys went up so early that maybe it was a, run a play action because they think we're going to run and then hit, Ferguson. But
either way, you still threw him 7 times.
Yeah, that's true. Every single primetime game except, I guess just Sunday and Monday was bad. We'll get to Monday here shortly, but Bengals-Browns was the other one I wanted to touch on. That game was a letdown. The Bengals looked horrible. However, Joe Burrow did the same thing last year. I think week 1 he looked awful, and they were like, "Oh, Super Bowl hangover, blah blah blah," and then they ended up having a good year. So I don't think it's time to get worried about the Bengals, but I think Deshaun Watson looked better. The Browns defense looked pretty dang good, so the Browns could be a team to watch out for as well.
Yeah, so I was very let down in this game because I have Joe Burrow as my starting quarterback in both fantasy leagues. This game sucked, but yeah, he did do the same thing last year. He also didn't really do anything in the preseason because he had the ankle calf injury, whatever you want to call it. So I think next week might even be a slow week for him, just because they do have a decent matchup with the Ravens. But yeah, I don't think there's anything to worry about with the Bengals. I think they're still going to be just as good. It was also pouring in this game, super sloppy.
Yep.
So
Yep.
Browns just have their number. The Browns are like 5-1 against Burrow, I think. So I'm not worried about it. Just a gross game to watch.
No, it's also week 1. It looks like a lot of guys were still warming up. Unders would have been a great bet of the weekend.
Yep. I don't think Deshaun was that good, by the way. He was 16 for 29 with 154 yards, a touchdown, and a pick.
Oh. I wonder what I was thinking then.
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm curious about him, though. I've got him in my one fantasy league. My team name is Deshaun Shank Redemption. I kind of bought in a little bit thinking he could get somewhat back to Houston Texans Deshaun, but I think it's time to accept that's not going to happen. But he's got some talent around him. I mean, he's got Amari Cooper. He's got DPJ, Elijah Moore. Who's their tight end out there? Nick Chubb. Who's their tight end?
David Njoku.
Yep. Like, there's talent there. I was hoping to make a push in a fantasy league.
Fantastic.
But, yeah, I think if he just has...
I could see it. It's not the easiest division to win in. But, there's 3 wildcard spots, so you never know.
Why don't you go ahead and talk about your Ravens? I'm going to piss myself, so I'm going to go ahead and take a leak real quick, but I will have my headset on to listen to you, so go ahead.
Okay, so the Ravens. FanDuel's running their promo for the Super Bowl. I broke it down by the numbers and everything. We went over that. I ended up picking the Ravens. They did win this week. However, J.K. Dobbins went down who I thought was going to be great for them, went down towards Achilles. He's done for the year. They are now down to Justice Hill, Gus Edwards, and they just brought up Melvin Gordon from the practice squad. I am a little bit worried about their running back situation. There are some outside ones, which once Jake comes back, I want to ask him who he thinks could potentially be the starter for Baltimore coming shortly. I will say, though, their wide receiver core now, granted this game they played without Mark Andrews, was electric. I think Zay Flowers might be the biggest diamond out of the draft. I don't even want to say diamond because he was a high draft pick. But Zay Flowers came in, took over the wide receiver 1 role in this game. Looked fantastic. He is so shifty, so quick. There was a fantastic juke move that he put on the entire Texans defense mid-game. I think that OBJ looked decent. I think he'll not back to primetime OBJ, but I think he'll look okay. Still have Bateman, who wasn't great, but was okay. Mark Andrews is still going to be there. He's going to hog targets. I'm not that I'm worried because I didn't exactly expect the Ravens to win the Super Bowl. I put it because I think that they had the best value in this bet. I am worried about the running backs. I want to see what you think as far as who's going to be their starting running back for the rest of the season.
Who are their running backs? They got Gus Edwards still, or no?
Yeah, Gus Edwards and Justice Hill. And then they just signed Melvin Gordon off their practice squad.
Okay. I think they're going to run a 2-back with Gus and Justice. Justice Hill looked good, though. He had, 2 touchdowns?
Yeah, I mean,
But
8 carries for 9 yards with 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And Gus Edwards was 8 carries for 32 yards.
I think they're going to run a 2-back with those two. Obviously, neither of them is J.K. Dobbins, and both of them won't combine to be J.K. Dobbins. You almost got to feel bad for J.K. Dobbins, too, because last year he tore his ACL. This year it was his ACL again or his Achilles?
It's his Achilles this year.
It's like it just sucks for the guy. His career's probably done. I think you'd be a lot happier if you took the Dolphins with that bet if I didn't talk you out of it. But
I actually have a hot take about who's going to be the starting running back.
Go ahead.
I think Kareem Hunt is going to get signed.
Yep. That'd be a great signing for them. You run Kareem Hunt with Gus, you're fine. Just fine.
And that's another receiving option. We know Kareem Hunt was always the receiving back in Cleveland.
Yep, I think they need to go do that. Or go and trade for Jonathan Taylor.
There's also Leonard Fournette's out there too, which
a lot of options. There's a lot of good guys that aren't on a team yet, and they probably just need a couple weeks to get going. I heard you while I was pissing, which I hope my mic didn't pick up.
No.
But no, I muted this one that I'm talking to you on, but my podcast mic might have picked it up. What was I going to say? Zay Flowers.
Zay Flowers.
Very good wide receiver. Very good. Exactly what the Ravens needed. They've always missed that wide receiver. I think he'll be fun to watch this year. Him and Odell, good pairing. I wouldn't be upset about your bet. I think you're just fine. I think they'll get 10 wins.
Did you see the juke that I was talking about?
No, I did not.
He caught the ball facing the sideline, and then he back juked / spun to the left, and it was 2 or 3 Texans receivers just ran right by him and all collided. It was so cool. It was such a good juke. It was,
speaking of nasty moves,
so cool.
Maybe the coolest first touchdown ever, Bijan's. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Similar thing. Cuts back. The cornerback goes flying. Then he just spreads the butt cheeks and goes right through the cornerbacks to the end zone for his first career touchdown. Insane.
Yeah, that was a weird game too, that Tyler Algier kind of matched him in carries, but I wonder if that's kind of another thing like what the Lions were doing with Gibbs. I don't know. That's
just letting him warm up maybe. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see because the Lions took Gibbs before Bijan.
Yeah.
Right? Is that a correct statement?
Wait, no.
I think it is.
Bijan went... No.
All right, you look up Bijan's draft. I'll look up Gibbs. I know we traded up for Gibbs.
Draft 2023.
What the hell? Why can't I find this? I'm an idiot.
Oh, shit. No, Laporta went 3. Bijan.
Gibbs was picked 12.
What is this? This is not this year's draft. Oh, this is round 2. I was so confused. I was like, what? I was like, Laporta did not go 3. Yeah, Bijan was pick 8.
Okay, so Bijan did go first. Never mind. But those two solid backs. Happy with the pick. Anthony Richardson. What did you think of him?
I think he is going to be a legit quarterback in the NFL. I am so glad to have him on one of my fantasy teams. Cannot wait to build around him. I think the Colts are going to be scary once they get JT back. Josh Downs is a very underrated receiver on that team. So you already have Michael Pittman Jr. as the number 1 go-to guy. But then you also have Josh Downs, who's a little bit smaller, quicker type of wide receiver to kind of play slot and outside. Plus, you still have Alec Pierce, who kind of proved himself last year as a good guy. And then you throw in Jonathan Taylor in there. The defense isn't bad. Like, their defense is probably the best part of their team right now. And Richardson can kind of do everything. I'm excited for Richardson. I think he's going to be great, especially once he gets fully acclimated, starts slinging the ball. We know he has a rocket for an arm. So
as long as he stays healthy. He had a couple where he would scramble and take a hit. I think he's got to slide on a couple.
I was going to say, I think he's kind of like a young Josh Allen, where he just isn't afraid to take a hit. And sometimes for your career, it's better to not take that hit. Yep. So we'll see. I also sent you the video on Twitter of Zay Flowers' juke.
Oh, okay. I'll go look at that. Our last NFL news of the week last night, obviously, Rodgers' 4th snap of the season went down and tore his Achilles. He's done for the year. I did see something, however. A lot of people don't think his career is done.
I don't know why I fully think he's done. I mean, he's 39 going on 40. Just tore his Achilles, which is going to be a full year of rehab. He was already.
I just watched that Zay. Oh my God!
Yeah. Wow. But I mean, Rodgers was already fully like. I'm gonna try to make this as quick as possible. Rodgers went into the darkness retreat saying that he was ready to retire. Came out, decided, you know what, let's play again. So he was already committed to retiring. Now he goes into a new system, which seemed happy at. Mind you, he didn't have a good year last year. Tears his Achilles, is going to sit for a full year, going to have to rehab. Why would he choose to come back after now not playing for a year, having one of his career worst years the year before, playing in a new system, coming off of an Achilles tear at age 39, going on 40?
Let me give you why I think he wants to. First of all, the tweet I saw was, I tore my Achilles when I was 39 and the rehab wasn't that bad, especially if you're a world-class athlete. That's not why. I don't think Rodgers wants to end his career this way. I think he wants to go out on a high note, be that a playoff or maybe a Super Bowl. And also I think he wants to complete Brett Favre's career as well. He still has to go play for the Vikings. So I think we're going to see one more year out of Rodgers with the Jets. Maybe they make a championship. What did the Jets go to? They went to that was with the Vikings. So I think he's going to make the playoffs with the Jets, lose first round next year. Then he's going to sign a 1-year deal with the Vikings, and Kirk Cousins is going to.
Well, he's got to retire and then come back.
Yep, and that's what we're going to see. I think.
I mean, honestly, like as a lifelong Packer fan and like growing up with Aaron Rodgers, I don't want to see his career end like this. It is pretty shitty, even though he's not a Packer anymore. I do want to see him go out on the highest note he can. So that it was bittersweet last night seeing the injury. Not that I cheer for injuries. I also wanted that first round draft pick, and now with him being out for the year, we're not going to get it because he needed to play 65% of the snaps. But yeah, I don't know, tough.
Well, that's all of our NFL. Our Super Bowl predictions were both in play. I've got Bills Eagles. You've got Bengals Eagles. I've got Hurts MVP. You've got Lawrence. Lawrence does not look bad at all. Especially with Ridley,
Lawrence looks great,
and Kirk and Etienne. That looks.
I might have to go put actual money on that, especially after last weekend.
Well, let's tackle the grid, and then let's hit roulette and send them on their way. What do you say?
And Paige's picks. Or do we want to do that now?
Oh, I forgot about Paige's picks. Let's do that right now.
Okay.
So, Paige's picks are records. Paige went 7-8. You went 9-6, and I went 10-5. So first place goes to me after the first week. Let's get into it. I did not read any of Paige's descriptions, so I'm reacting live. So Vikings Eagles. Eagles are -7.
Paige says, truly, I don't care about either team because they're both not important teams. So we'll go with the... Will they really lose their first 2 games, though? Let's go Eagles.
Okay.
So she's taking the Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking the Eagles as well.
I've got the Eagles. We all know about Kirk on prime time. So
I just want it to be known I am reading this exactly how she spoke it to me.
Okay. Packers at the Falcons. I'm shocked the Falcons are +1. I might have to drop a nuke on this.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a little worried. Especially if Aaron Jones doesn't play.
Mm-hmm.
Paige says, I feel like the Falcons did bad this week. I informed her that they won. She said, oh, well, we'll go with the Packers. That love dude. Jordan. I'm also going with the Packers.
Taking the Packers as well. I took the Bears last week. That was a mistake. I'll take the Packers until Jordan Love proves otherwise that I shouldn't. Ravens at
I like
the
that
Bengals.
we're both
Bengals
on
are
each
minus.
other's teams.
Yep, Bengals are -3.5.
Paige says, the Bengals. Well, the Bengals decided... Wait, no, that was the Chiefs. Wait, I voted on the Ravens last week, so the Bengals this week. I'm also taking the Bengals.
I like the Ravens here. The Bengals looked bad. I think Joey B might be hurting more than people know about. So give me the Ravens here.
I love how you just gave a whole spiel about how not to freak out over the Bengals because it's week 1.
I'm not freaking out. If I was freaking out, I'd be dropping a nuclear hammer on Ravens +3.5. I'm just thinking that they win the game.
That's fine.
I'm not like, oh, the Bengals are going to miss the playoffs, blah, blah, blah. I think they still make the playoffs, but I think the Ravens looked good enough to go out there and win this game. Bears at the Bucks. Bucks are -3.
Paige says, I hate both of these teams. I feel like the Buccaneers... Wait, first, I hate the Bears logo. That shit is ugly on TV. Definitely the Bucks. Told her that they're from Tampa. She said, whoa, are they okay because of the hurricane?
Mm-hmm.
So she's on the Bucks. I'm also on the Bucks.
Give me the Bears. This is dumb. This is dumb. But I
This
I
is
think
a try
the
to
Bucks
get a
are
lead
bad.
pick.
This is 100%. This is a try to build on my lead. So yeah, give me the Bears. Raiders at the Bills. No line on this one. Thanks for that one, pal.
That was because I did this during the game last night, so they didn't have lines up yet.
Okay.
So Paige says, listen, this one's tough. But the Raiders decided to play my man's Isaiah Cooch / Rochelle, so we ride with them. But the Bills are good, but I still choose the Raiders. I laughed, and she said, why do I feel like the Raiders are going to get stomped on? So she's taking the Raiders, but she's afraid that they're going to get stomped on. I'm taking the Bills.
I'm taking the Bills as well. I think this might be a fucking blowout. The Bills are probably pissed about how they looked, and I feel like they're still a good team.
Raiders were sneaky last week.
Yeah, but the Raiders' defense is far worse than the Jets, so
yes.
Give me the Bills. Chiefs at the Jags. Jags +3.
Paige says, Chiefs, but I'm disappointed in their performance this week. It's probably because that man brought his crazy wife. She brings bad juju. Maybe he'll leave her at home this week. I still don't know if he's white or black.
Oh.
So she's on the Chiefs. I'm on the Jags.
I've got the Jags as well. They looked good. Chiefs looked bad. I don't think Kelsey's going to play, so give me the Jags. Chargers at the Titans. Titans are +3.
Titans, because I'm a Titans fan. Maybe you can buy me a jersey with the money you won this week. Be a true fan. I don't care the player. You can even put my name on the back. I'm taking the Chargers.
I'm on the Chargers as well, but if you do get her a jersey, you should get her a Mariota jersey. I bet you can find them cheap. She won't know.
Will Levis.
A Will Levis jersey
If
would go
anything.
hard.
Yeah.
Seahawks at the Lions. Lions are actually -5.5 right now on DraftKings.
Oh, interesting. It dropped. Paige says, I love that the Lions usually suck, so it's kind of sad that they won, but we'll take the home team this week, Lions. I'm also on the Lions.
You already know I'm on the Lions. I don't know what she means by it's sad that they won. Wouldn't you want to support your friend's team? Little sus there from Paige, but yeah, I'm on the Lions. That's easy pickings. Colts at the Texans, gross game. Texans +1.
This might be my favorite of the entire week. Paige says, Texans, horn 'em, baby. I don't know what they say. Wait, that's for the college team. Who are they? The Texans? I don't remember them being a team. The Texans? Against who? I told her the Colts. She said, the Colts did me dirty last week. Texans, hook 'em horns. I'm on the Colts.
That was so all over the place.
I wish you could have heard it in real life.
Yeah. I always see these and I'm like, fuck, I bet that was hilarious. I'm on the Texans. Couldn't tell you why. I have
over 500
team. I have Pittman in fantasy. Richardson looked good. The Colts defense is definitely better than the Texans defense, but give me the Texans. Fuck it. Let's build this lead or lose it. Giants at the Cardinals. The Cardinals are +4.
Paige says, Cardinals, go Lady Birds. That's the dance team to the Louisville. I like Louisville, so I'm going with the Cardinals. Are they in Louisville? I told her it was Arizona, and she said, close enough. Not close at all.
Yep,
I'm on the Giants.
Paige needs to start watching football a little bit more when you have it on all weekend because the Cardinals are starting Josh Dobbs. Give me the Giants. Danny Dimes.
Yep, I agree.
49ers at the Rams. Rams are +8.
Paige says, realistically, the 49ers are going to win, but I'm a diehard Rams fan, so the Rams. I'm taking the Niners.
I got the Niners as well. At least she acknowledges that the Niners will win. So maybe she can get a push for that one. Not actually. No. Jets at the Cowboys.
Oh, okay. Paige says, Cowboys. I always pick the Cowboys, but also I don't like how shiny the Jets helmets are. They're fugly. I'm also so proud of them because they got rid of Aaron. Also, I can see through their pants. And I just learned that New Jersey claims the Statue of Liberty, but that's definitely a New York thing. Cowboys. I'm on the Cowboys as well.
First of all, the Jets helmets are kind of sweet. I like the shiny.
So
they didn't get rid of Aaron. I don't know that they wanted that to happen, but go off.
Yeah.
And I've never heard once that New Jersey claims the Statue of Liberty. Where did she see that?
They mentioned it last night on the broadcast.
Oh, okay. I've got the Jets. The Jets' defense looked good. They shut down the Bills, who are one of the best offenses, in my opinion. I also would love to believe in Zach Wilson, so give me the Jets just because of Zach Wilson.
I honestly debated this one.
I was back and forth for sure. Commanders at the Broncos, -3.5 for the Broncos.
She said, flip a coin because I don't care about either of these teams. Then she literally flipped a coin on Google. It landed on heads, so she's taking the Commanders. Also, side note, the coin had a woman, and she was like, I don't ever remember us having a woman president. And I said, well, that's because we haven't. I'm on the Broncos.
Dude, sometimes I feel like Paige is a very smart girl. However, some of these makes me feel like what goes on inside that head.
Yeah, anything history / geographics
/ sports, it sounds like.
Yeah.
I've got the Broncos as well. I know they lost by 1 last week, but it's the Commanders. Sam Howell was kind of fun, though. We didn't talk about him, but he was kind of fun. Made a lot of mistakes, but he was fun.
I was going to say he didn't really do much, but...
Dolphins at Patriots. Patriots are +2.5.
Paige says Dolphins. Patriots are probably going to smoke them. Can you make a dolphin noise on the podcast and then proceeds to make dolphin noises for 5 minutes? I cannot make it. There we go.
That was like a goat dolphin.
That's fine. I am also on the Dolphins.
I've got the Dolphins
Jesus
as well.
Christ.
I think -2.5 is too easy. It's gonna be fun. Saints at the Panthers. Panthers are +3.
Straight to the point. Paige says I vote the Saints. I'm also on the Saints. Derek
I trust
Carr
Bryce
looked
Young.
Good.
I trust Bryce Young. The Saints looked sloppy. They only put up 16 against a bad Titans defense. Give me the Panthers. They're gonna win one.
I don't know if I'd say bad, but
Browns at the Steelers. Steelers are +2.
Paige says both are pretty garbage. Who are the Browns? Because I thought they were the Bears logo. Kind of pondered on this and then said, Cleveland. That's right. Fuck Ohio. Steelers, I suppose. Shout out to Josh for being a Steelers fan. I'm on the Steelers as well.
I'm shocked you're on the Steelers. I think this is very clear-cut. Take the Browns. The defense looked good. The offense is going to get rolling. The Browns are winning this game.
This was my try to get one.
Okay, gotcha. Our quotes here. Paige said, the players during practice look like bobbleheads because their helmets are so big that their helmets are bigger than their bodies. Also, the Super Bowl national anthem goes under, and the Gatorade is red. Keep an eye on that. Frankie, why don't you go ahead and throw that in the spreadsheet? I'll keep that on for the rest of the year.
Okay.
Red Gatorade under on the anthem, which is the opposite of what everybody wants. The over is more fun, isn't it? Don't we always bet over?
Yeah.
And then you said Aaron Rodgers is continuing to fuck the Packers. We hit that as well. And then I said first place feels great. I've got a 1-game lead on Austin. So let's load up the grid. I think after this week we shouldn't do the grid anymore. What are we at for time?
An hour and 16 minutes.
Yeah, see, okay. Let's do it just because we got it here. But this is the last grid ever, so let's go 9 for 9.
Okay.
So across the top, we've got Panthers, Colts, 1,000-yard rushing
Sam
season.
Darnold.
49ers, Bucks, Jets going down. Darnold for 49ers and Panthers?
Yep.
Does Darnold count, though? Because he hasn't played a snap yet, though.
Yeah, it counts.
Oh, you already did it.
I got it.
Attaboy. McCaffrey 1,000 yards, or does that not count because he split last year? Oh, we could have done McCaffrey right there, Panthers, 49ers.
Oh, whoops.
I don't think.
Well,
did he not have 1,000 yards last year, though?
Darnold would have counted for Panthers, Jets, too. Fuck.
Shit.
Jump the gun.
Shit. Went too fast. Panthers, Jets, could be Jonathan Stewart.
I was going to say that, or Julius Peppers.
I don't think he played for the Jets.
I don't know if he played for the Jets. He played for the Bucks, though, didn't he?
I thought Peppers was only Panthers, Bears, and Packers.
I don't know. Let's go Jonathan Stewart for the Jets one.
Are you sure, though?
I don't know. I thought you were pretty sure. Okay.
No, I'm not. 1,000-yard rushing season. I don't want to put McCaffrey because I feel like it's going to be weird with how he split last year with Carolina, and he got banged up.
That's fine.
And they kept splitting.
For Bucks, should we go Barber?
Rondé Barber, the cornerback?
No, wasn't Tiki a running back?
He played for the Giants.
Oh, yeah, shit. Never mind.
Fournette,
Barbers
I feel like probably had 1,000.
That's what I was thinking, too.
I feel like Fournette's the best guess there that I have.
He did not. Fuck.
It's not Fournette. Fucking. What? Jets. I don't even know for Jets because Forte didn't when he went there. Brees Hall didn't last year. Le'Veon definitely didn't. He was ass.
That's what I thought.
They had, who was that guy? Stephen Ivory. Do you think he did back in the day? He would be my best guess. Oh, Josh McCown. Did he play for the Colts? Or the Panthers?
I think he played for the Panthers.
Let's put McCown there, just since we already got one wrong. Let's just kind of fly here. He did. All right. Panthers, Jets, McCown. I'm going to put Ivory.
Elijah Mitchell for top right, I think.
Elijah Mitchell. You think he got 1,000? He's
I don't
never
know.
even been the starter.
Went off.
No. We got to think back. Frank Gore for 49ers 1,000.
Oh, yeah.
Jeez. I just smacked my mic. I was so worried. All right.
Frank Gore probably would have worked for Jets, too.
No, I don't think he got.
He would have worked. He would have worked for Colts Niners.
Yep.
Or no, yeah.
No. Yeah, no. I think he just went to the Jets after the Niners for like a couple years. Jets 1,000. I'm gonna throw Ivory in there for Jets 1,000. I think that's the only one. Chris Ivory. Yep. Bang. Let's go.
Nice.
Okay. So we got 4. Best we can do here is 8. Bucks and Panthers. Who played for Bucks and Panthers?
I have no clue.
No. Running backs. No. Wide receivers. Nope. Who could it be? 1,000 yards for the Bucks. It's
Did
not
Ryan
4.5.
Fitzpatrick ever play for the Panthers?
No. He didn't play for the Colts either. Fitzpatrick is Bengals, Bills, Jets,
Bucks.
Bucks. What's his other one out west?
Saints?
No, never played for the Saints.
No.
Doesn't matter. It's not one of these. 1,000 yards for the Bucks. I feel like they had a really good they had a good running back like 2000s when they won the Super Bowl, and I cannot think of his name. Papa Tubbs, when you listen to this, if you know the running back, text me before you hear the end of this when I look it up. Who was their running back? Son of a bitch. I can't even think. Like,
Oh, Panthers Bucks Baker.
yep, there you go. Good shit. Baker, good. Colts and Bucks. Tom Brady didn't play for the Colts. Do you think Michael James ever played for the Colts? Do you remember that guy?
No.
I'm starting to think Frank Gore did play for the Colts, though.
Yeah, he did.
Colts quarterbacks, they had Wentz. Did Wentz play for? Nope. They had Phillip Rivers. Did he? Nope. They had Andrew Luck, Peyton Manning. So it's not a quarterback. Unless it's before Manning, but I won't get that. I want to not give up on this because it's our last one we're going to do for a long time.
I mean, we can always just throw one in there if we want.
Yeah. I'm trying to think 1,000 yards for the Bucks, and I can't remember the dude's friggin' name. Mike Allstott, is that who it is, or was he a defensive guy? I think he was actually like a fullback. Do you think a fullback ever got it? There's no way he rushed for 1,000. Probably had like 1,000 rushing yards in his career. I'm not putting Allstott.
I feel like Niners Colts has got to be like a
Wide receiver.
or a like a traveling quarterback, a veteran quarterback.
Nick Foles. He played for the Colts. No, he didn't.
What about like?
I'll tell you what. If we
Ryan
had this next year, Rashad White would have worked for Bucks 1,000. He's gonna have a year. Son of a bitch.
Oh. I don't know why this name's coming to my head. Bucks 1,000, like Eric Blunt.
Maybe, but he. Ooh. Oh wait! Bucks 1,000. The short fucker. He played with Jameis. Doug. He was good in fantasy for those couple years, like 2014. Doug Martin. That's for sure 1,000.
No idea.
I'm putting Doug Martin. You can put Blunt if you want. Doug Martin.
Blunt worked.
Blunt did work?
Yeah.
Martin worked as well. All right, so now we got two guesses. 49ers, Colts. I don't want to guess. The middle one's always the hardest. I've learned through playing these all the time, so I'm skipping Bucks, Colts. But 49ers, Colts. Colts, Jets. Colts, Jets. Favre, no. Mike Vick, he played for the Steelers, Falcons, Jets. Nope. Le'Veon Bell, did he go to the Bucks? No. Antonio Brown. Did Bell
I think
go
he
to
did.
I thought Bell went Chiefs and Jets.
Wait, but what were you gonna use? Yeah, what would you have used Le'Veon?
Oh
for?
yeah, never mind.
You
That
play
wouldn't
for the
work.
Panthers or the
Yep.
Colts.
Nope, I know. Looking the wrong way. Son of a bitch. Defensive players. Julius Peppers didn't play for the Colts. Other defensive play. I'm trying to think back to like the Super Bowl that the Panthers were in.
Put Julius Peppers for Bucks.
He didn't play
Panthers.
for the Colts.
Bucks Panthers. Oh wait.
We already did Baker.
Yep.
Think back to the Panthers in the Super Bowls. Cam Newton, Jonathan Stewart, Steve Smith. Who was their receiver that was really fast? Was it Ted Ginn? Yeah, Ted Ginn. Do you think he played for... Oh, why am I thinking Panthers? We're already done with that category. Marvin Harrison. Who was the Colts center? Jeff Saturday. No, he only played for the Colts, though. Son of a bitch. Should we do roulette spin and come back, finish this up?
Yeah.
Let's do that. Are you changing your numbers or same ones as last week?
We'll keep it.
All right. We're down 40 now since episode 52. Technically up 10 if you take out the 50 special.
Do not bet list while you're getting that ready.
Mm-hmm.
Adding Iowa State overs. I thought Iowa's offense was better this year. I was wrong. Missed it by half a point. Falcons wide receivers, Drake London, killed me this week. Pac-12 After Dark overs because I had the USC over and they decided not to score any points in the third quarter and missed the over by 2.
Mm-hmm.
And then UFC Boost / the UFC in general. I took a minus 700 favorite that was boosted to plus 100 this week, and he lost in a unanimous decision. And my last one is same game parlays that include 2 legs from Jake.
We decided to do 2 from each of the boys in the group chat, and mine were the only 2 that didn't hit. In my defense, they both revolved around Rodgers. So, yeah. 9 just hit. Fine. Son of a bitch. Damn it.
Oh.
Should we wait? You want to wait a spin or no?
No. Okay. Run it.
All right, we'll run it. 0, 2, 3. Oops. 2. Son of a bitch, I can't touch it. 2, 3, 9, 10, 12, 22, 23, 24, 30. You're not going to like this. The last 4 numbers have been one of ours. 30, Shit. 10, and 10 back-to-back. 10 was 100x, and then just the 9.
Shit.
We should have started our recording up. 0 got a lightning number. 100x. Come on, show me some green, baby. Show me some green.
Stay hot.
Show me some green. Back-to-back episodes. Come on. Green. 3. All right.
Hey.
Wow, these numbers are
That's
hot.
your number,
so
right?
now we're going to do the $1, right? Like we decided?
Yep.
All right, 0, 2, 3, 9, 10, 12, 22, 23, 24, and 30.
Quick question while this is going. Who do you think the Jets bring in a veteran quarterback?
I hope they don't. I want to see Wilson try, but I heard a lot about Kaepernick, so let's see. 9 got a lightning number at 100x. Man, our numbers, dude, that's 1, 2, 3. That's 5 in a row for our podcast numbers. That's crazy. 17, not one of ours.
Damn. It's all right.
Oh, that one had a lightning number. What was it? 100x. But
Damn.
We never do 17. All right, that's more profit though. So let's see. I put in 20. We're cashing out 30. So we're down. We're only down 10 since the episode. That means we're profiting. Let's go.
It's a good start.
All right, back to the grid now. Let's see. Colts. Think Colts. Think veteran Colts. Golly. Cornerback?
To speed this up, I'm going to press give up and see if you can figure these out.
Okay. Colts tight ends. Let's see. Maybe
So
maybe you could also give me position or something.
Colts Niners, and Colts Jets.
Well, don't tell me who they are, but which ones do you think I can
that's
get?
the 2 that you have.
Well, I only have 2 guesses left, so I can get any of the middle 3. But I was going to skip Colts Bucks because I have no idea. But I'm thinking tight end now. I'm thinking Colts tight end. They had Dallas Collins. Was that his name, Collins? I might throw that in for Colts.
Frank Gore would have worked for the Jets Colts, by the way.
Landon Collins. All right. No, that's the cornerback. What was that guy's name?
There's a receiver for Jets Colts. I don't think you're going to get him. I'll give you a year. 2013 with the Jets. 2014 with the Colts.
Ugh.
Not a huge name, but I definitely remember the name.
Remember the name. 5% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will.
There's a big defensive player, Jets Colts. 2010 to 2015 with the Jets, 2016 with the Colts.
That gives me nothing. I'm going to give up as well. I have nothing here. Absolutely nothing. Let's see who I missed.
I was going to say Antonio Cromartie.
DeForest Buckner.
Or Josh Cribbs.
DeForest Buckner.
Yep, DeForest Buckner would have worked.
Dallas Clark. That's the tight end I was thinking of. Colts and Bucks. I was going to try to put it for Colts and Jets, though.
Damn.
All right. Well, 6 out of 9. Fitting. My favorite number for our last Immaculate Grid for a while. I believe that's everything.
That was a long one.
That was long, and it will continue to be long, but we're going to skip the grid now, so that'll shore us up a little bit.
Yes.
Have a great weekend, everybody. Let's hit some tanks, store some tutties. We'll see you next week.
Peace.